Hey, what's up everyone? Jorge Gonzalez with Coldwell Banker Denver Central. In this video, I want to talk about Denver's iconic Park Hill neighborhood. This Northeast Denver neighborhood has been established for a long time with gorgeous tree-lined parkways with mature trees that some of those iconic parkways like 17th Avenue and Montview designed way in the past by iconic architects. But now this great neighborhood offers such a beautiful mix of, iconic homes, modern homes, beautiful architecture, churches, a couple of just charming as can be little commercial strips in the neighborhoods with amazing cafes and restaurants and shops and all that. I want to take a look at what's happening in the neighborhood from a real estate perspective, not just in the more recent term, like the last 3, 6, or 12 months, but even going back, 2-3 years, seeing just what's been going on with the neighborhood, what are inventory levels like, what are prices like, and things of that nature. So let's get started. Starting off, so Park Hill is technically divided into 3 different neighborhoods. You got South Park Hill, and North Park Hill. 2 of those, South Park Hill and North Park Hill, just happened to come up on 5280 Magazine's top 25 neighborhoods to live in. South Park Hill came in at 21 and North Park Hill came in at 23, and they determined those neighborhoods by a combination of real estate values, crime, education, and their own X factor, which sometimes some of these little commercial strips that you find in the neighborhood have something to do with that X factor, for example. But going to the numbers real quickly, so Park Hill has seen quite the flurry of activity in the last 3 months. There's been 96 transactions. That's basically between the end of February and right now we're in, late May. So 96 transactions, quite a bit. Now to put that into context, if you just went back a couple of months to the very end of February, beginning of March, and you went back 3 months from that time frame, that previous preceding 3 months only saw 45 transactions. So to go from 45 to 96 in the last 3 months is pretty impressive when you think about it. Now the average price in these last 3 months is just a shade over $967,000. To give that number a little more perspective, if you just go back 12 months from right now, so end of May 2023 to end of May to May 2024, where we are right now, there have been 321 sales in that year. The average price was just shy of $870,000. So the fact that the last 3 months is almost $970,000. That's quite a sign. Obviously, a smaller sample size, but still decent amount of transactions, 96. To give yourself a good feel, like this neighborhood is doing solidly, and to put it in even more perspective, so between 2 and 3 years ago, which, we were in a lower interest rate environment at that time. And, there was a lot of COVID effects on just real estate and people targeting, bigger single family homes, great neighborhoods and stuff like that. There was a lot of money being moved around at those times. So 454 transactions. That's obviously a lot compared to 321 in the last year. The market was definitely more accelerated during that time. But the average price, back then, between 2 and 3 years ago, was just over $800,000, $807.98 if you want to get exact. Now back then, the neighborhood the average days on the market for the neighborhood was 9 days. Homes, all 454 of those homes sold for an average of 105.29% sold price relative to list price, which basically means homes were selling for over 5% above asking price. Now, for context, in the last 3 months, the average list to sold price ratio is 99.22% for those 96 transactions. So that's, just shy of 0.75% discount off of original list price. If you look at the last year, the 321 transactions were averaging 97.79% relative to list price. So that's about a 2.2% discount off of list. But this average price between 2 and 3 years ago was just over 800,000. Last 3 months, 967 and change. Last year, 869. So obviously the trend, prices are still going up, even though we've obviously been dealing with a higher interest rate environment now for going on 2 years, really. This neighborhood is still doing great. A couple of other stats. The average days on the market right now ranges between 29 and 36 days. Obviously a far cry from 9 days between 2 and 3 years ago. That was when inventory was so low back then. I mean, inventory in neighborhoods was being measured in days, not even necessarily weeks or months. Right now, the neighborhood does have 69 active listings, and the inventory kind of falls into the range of anywhere between 2.2 and 2.7 months. 2 to 3 years ago, that inventory was less than half a month. A year ago, inventory was about 1.2 to 1.4 months. So inventory compared to a year ago is about double. So there's more inventory, more buying options if you want to look around Park Hill. But anyway, feel free to reach out if you have any questions either about Park Hill or any other neighborhood. Take care.